You're listening to the Craig Proctor Real Estate Show. Each week, I'm going to be interviewing top realtors from coast to coast to give you a backstage pass on how they've created their amazing real estate empires and how you can copy them. Hi, everyone. This is real estate coach Craig Proctor, and welcome to the Craig Proctor Real Estate Show. Hey, my amazing special guest today from Orlando, Florida is Grace Feng. Hey, Grace, thank you for being with us here today. First of all, how are you doing? How are things in Orlando, Florida?
Very well. Thank you so much, Craig. Thank you for inviting me.
Hey, let's start off by how did you find me? How long you've been with Craig Proctor? How did you first find me? And then we'll talk about how things have progressed since then.
Sure. I met you in 2017. You came here in Orlando. I went to your half day, and then I joined you right after.
So did this approach make sense to you right away at that free half day seminar, or like what caused you to get like super interested with this?
Oh, I first of all, I did want to grow myself, and then you seem to have a way for me to grow.
I made you do it. Well, you know what? Grace, you must have had a spark inside of you, and I know you still have today. You have a spark, and many of you watching this right now, you understand what I'm talking about. You have a little spark inside of you where you know you're capable of doing more. So we're going to talk about how Grace has done an absolutely amazing job, and she's continuing to grow. And for anyone watching this in Orlando, Florida, if you're a realtor in Orlando, Florida, we have an amazing opportunity for you. We're going to show you how you can make a lot more money and work less, so don't go anywhere. And if you're an agent anywhere in the world watching this, you're going to be super interested in how Grace didn't know me and then got into the Craig Proctor system and how she's exponentially growing her business and where she's taking this. Now, the great thing about this is everything that Grace has done is completely duplicatable. So I have thousands of Graces, is that how you say it? Graces, all over the United States and Canada. Okay, this is a duplicatable system. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning. You attend one of my half-day seminars, and then I assume you probably came to one of the full-blown 3-day super conferences from there?
Exactly. Yeah, so I went to Anaheim for a 3-day event.
Okay, now that takes a bit of belief because you're in Orlando, Florida, and my next conference was, across the country in California. Okay, so you had some faith in the system at that point. Before we get into what you started to change when you implemented the Craig Proctor system, because we have a system here. A lot of people are like, what is it, coaching? Does Craig motivate you? Does Craig tell you to knock on more doors? No, it's none of that. This isn't about motivation. This isn't about doing more of the old school cold calling, door knocking, floor time, open houses. This is an actual system that Grace was coached, is being coached up on. So what are we? We're in 2023 and you came in 2017. So what's that? How many years is that? Do the math.
Going 6 years.
6 years. Okay. Why is Grace still here? Grace, you've met Craig Proctor members that have been with me for 10 years, 15, 20 years. Here's what I'm okay with. I'm okay with providing so much value to realtors that they never want to leave because being associated with me helps them make way, way more money than the small fee that they pay to be a Craig Proctor member. What were you doing? How did you get your business before you met me?
Yeah, friends around me, some referrals.
So typical stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. So at that time, I thought an agent selling 20 homes is great. That's all they can do. But when I went to your event, people are saying they're selling 800 homes, 900 homes, 1,000 homes. I was like, oh, you could do that. So that amazed me.
Okay, that's fair. How many of you would agree that your paradigm in real estate for most agents is the way I get business, like Grace, is through sphere of influence. And in real estate, what's doable is I'm going to sell, 15 or 20 homes a year. And that makes me a really good agent because I'm selling to people that I know. I'm selling to friends and family. Here's the thing about friends and family, Grace. they kind of have to sell their home with you, even if they don't want to, because, you know, it's your brother-in-law, your cousin. So most real estate agents are getting business that way, and that's why they can't really grow their business.
And
So,
also I was among the agents who are selling 15, 20 homes as well. I thought I was doing well. I was doing normal, you know, didn't know there was another world out there that we could do a lot more. So vision is, you know, enlarge my vision is a big thing to me when I
yeah,
mention.
fair point. How many of you watching this would agree that, you know, in your office, if you sell 20 homes, 30 homes, you're probably the top agent in the whole office. They're giving you a trophy, they're patting you on the back. And you know, the old saying, you know what you know, and you don't know what you don't know. So Grace, when you came to the first conference and you see me, you see on stage agents selling hundreds and hundreds of houses, that really opened your mind to, hey, I didn't even know this was possible. And I'm surrounded by hundreds and hundreds of agents that are actually doing this.
Yes.
So what changed for you now? Because that's what everyone wants to know is, okay, we get it. You were dealing with friends and family, relatives, your sphere of influence. That's what we're taught to do when we get into real estate. You're selling 15, 20 homes a year. You meet this Craig Proctor character. You kind of like his approach, but there's lots of, you know, fake coachers, anybody that can, you know, be on YouTube is everyone's a coach and a trainer. What was it about this that started to change things for you? What did you go back and start to do in your business that took you from 20 homes to 50 homes to 100 homes and so on?
Yeah, so I start following the procedures that was in the booklet and start writing letters, you know, following the, you know, the scripts that's written down on the booklets, and also the steps, you know, the first 30 days, 60 days, a year, what do you do? So I start following some steps there, and not too long later, it started, you know, showing some results.
So it was almost like a manual for your business. It's like, start here, do this first, do this second, do this third, do this fourth. And what happened to your business over the next couple of years as far as number of transactions?
So back in 2017, I was still solo. 2018, I started having my team, and I was making like 150K myself. 2019, my number went up to $26 million, 80 sales. And we were very close to $1 million commission, GCI. 2020, we start to soar $41 million, and we still had about 60 pending transactions. Year end 2021, we went up to $100 million in sales volume, 268 transactions closed. And the most recent number is 2022. We closed $97 million, 212 closings.
200 closings. How many of you watching this would like to do this? Now, we're going to give you Grace's contact information here shortly. If you want to verify this, if you think, you know, this isn't real, it can't be done. Now, Grace was in real estate for a number of years. She couldn't crack 20 transactions. She was doing what we're all told to do. That's the mistake we make, right? We get into real estate. We do what they tell us to do. We look around at the other agents. We think 15 or 20 transactions is it. And then one thing changed after all those years of being in real estate. She attended a Craig Proctor conference. She got involved in coaching, and we gave her a roadmap. All Grace realized that if she wanted to do what the other people were doing at the conference, that there was a plan. That everything that she wanted to do in real estate had already been done by thousands of Craig Proctor members, and she just followed the plan. Now, how long did it take, Grace, where you were overwhelmed with the number of leads coming in, where you got to the point where you physically couldn't even work with all the buyers and sellers?
About a few months started showing results.
Okay, does everyone see the issue with this? It's the first problem I solve for real estate agents is I help you generate an overabundance of leads. Mm-hmm. Now, this is important because, as we know, some buyers are better than other buyers and some sellers are better than other sellers. So the way you're going to get rich as a real estate agent is obviously, if you can't work with all the buyers and sellers, who would you choose to work with? Well, you do what Grace did. She would choose to work with the most motivated, the most sincere, the most ready to act. So that's the first thing Grace was able to do. She had the power of choice. But even still, she started working more hours and weekends. And that's not what the Craig Proctor system is about. So what every agent inside the Craig Proctor system eventually understands is that the only way I'm going to be super successful in the real estate business is to actually have a business, not a job where everything depends on me. So the next thing that we taught Grace is the system to leverage herself through people. And I'm going to let Grace now explain who she started hiring, okay, and what the team looks like today. And then we're going to talk about an opportunity, a huge opportunity for all of you watching this. So Grace, you didn't run out there and hire a whole bunch of people all at once. You started one at a time.
The first one was the admin.
That's exactly right. The first one's an admin, because as a real estate agent, you don't want to be splitting your commission unnecessarily. The first hire, we teach you to hire an administrative person. Yeah. What would the administrative person do? All the things that Grace should not be doing, right? So, and that's a hard habit right there, isn't it, Grace, to break out of when you're normally used to, getting the keys cut and installing the key box and taking the pictures and doing all the paperwork. As real estate agents, I think we would agree, we waste a lot of time doing administrative things. So Grace was able to replace herself for somebody that she could pay a lot less money than what she was worth per hour. Okay. So what do we mean worth per hour? Well, I'll give you a quick example. I want everyone to do this math, actually. Let's say that you're a real estate agent that makes $100,000 a year. And let's say that you work 40 hours a week. A lot of you work far longer, but let's just say 40, you might work 50 or 60. But if you made $100,000 a year and you worked 40 hours a week, and let's say that you work 50 weeks a year, maybe you take 2 weeks off for vacation. So you're trading for the $100,000, you're trading 40 hours per week, every week, times 50 weeks is 2,000 hours. So now every one of you can calculate what you're worth per hour. In this example, $100,000 a year in gross income, which is not your net, by the way, in gross income, divided by the 2,000 hours you're trading means that you'd be worth $50 an hour. Well, if you're worth $50 an hour, why the hell are you running around taking pictures of houses, getting keys cut, doing paperwork, putting up and down signs? I'll tell you why. Because that's the way it's always been done in real estate. So we say to Grace, don't do that stuff, Grace. Grace, what she does is Grace writes down what she needs to do all day long. And then she decides which of these activities would be the most important things for Grace to do, like marketing, right? Listing presentations, buyer presentations. But she was able to delegate a system for an administrative person. And Grace didn't have to be bothered with that stuff anymore. Now, once you did that step, what happened to your number of homes sold when you just by hiring your first administrative person?
Yes, started double.
Started double.
Yes.
That's exactly what happened to me. So you hire an administrative person. Everyone hear this. When I did this and when Grace did this, our production doubled. Now it's funny, Grace, because we hear a lot of agents say, well, I can't afford an assistant. No. The truth is you can't afford not to have one. Okay. Now, as Grace has continued, now here's the problem. So now Grace has this administrative person. Now follow me on this. So Grace has more time now to work with buyers and sellers. So initially, Grace is thinking, well, this is better because I can spend more time with buyers and sellers, but it actually makes the problem worse because now Grace can spend more of her time on Craig Proctor marketing and more of her time with buyers and sellers. And now her business doubles up again. So that's why the big step is eventually Grace understands I need to hire some licensed real estate agents to work with the buyers and sellers because I physically cannot go out to all the appointments.
Yeah, so I started having 3 agents with me. 2 of them were my customers. They bought homes with me.
And Grace, we know what people are thinking. It's the same thought we're all thinking. I'm all about customer service. If I hire other agents, they're not going to do it like I would do it. How many of you watching this are maybe a bit of a control freaks? We all believe that nobody can do it like we can do it, or my buyers and sellers, oh my God, they would never accept one of my agents. They would only want to work with me. We all believe that. But here's the truth. When Grace and I started hiring people, we realized that we were capable of teaming up with really good, strong agents that actually could do as good a job, maybe a better job for our clients, because their only focus was working with the client. Now, when these new agents come on board with Grace, she doesn't give them leads. And you might be, well, I want leads. No, you don't want leads. If you're an outside sales agent, what we realize is you don't want leads, you want appointments. So this is how genius this is. Grace is a marketing expert. She can sell as many homes as she wants. In fact, Grace right now, while she's sitting in Orlando, Florida, she could be running Craig Proctor ads in San Diego, California, and she could be generating leads and creating appointments for a totally separate team, a satellite team in San Diego, California, or wherever she wanted to. Now, these leads that come in, 100% of all these Craig Proctor leads, by the way, they're coming into you. They're coming into Grace. So there is never any cold calling. There's no door knocking. There's no chasing. This is about teaching you how to get leads coming to you, quality buyers and sellers coming to you. But what we found is if we give the leads to the outside sales agents, that the outside sales agents, if they are good at following up the leads, if we gave, let's say, an outside sales agent 10 leads, if they're really good with follow-up and training, they'll call 3 or 4 of the 10 leads, and boom, they'll be out in their car showing houses, and the other 7 leads won't get called back. We don't do it that way. It gets better. Here's what we do. If you're in Orlando, Florida, I want you to contact Grace, and I want you to have a conversation with her, because this is literally how your business would work. You would have like your own little independent business inside of Grace's business. You would partner up with her, and Grace would generate the leads. The leads go to the inside sales agents who call and qualify the buyers and sellers. And what you're getting is as an outside sales agent, a licensed outside sales agent, you're actually getting listing appointments and buyer appointments on your day timer. Now, it even gets better than that. Since Grace is so well invested in the Craig Proctor system, and she would be well invested in you if you were to team up with her, because Grace is spending all this money on lead generation, she wants to make sure that you're converting as many of these appointments as possible. So Grace spends time with you every week as your coach. She coaches you up on how to make the perfect buyer and listing presentation. Why? Because the more money you make, the more money Grace makes. That's how this deal works. So Grace is highly motivated to bring on talented agents and set them up with listing appointment after listing appointment after listing appointment. Now, here's who should not call Grace. If you're more interested in your ego, if you'd rather have a big ego and low sales production, yeah, this is not for you. There are agents out there. There are agents in Orlando that would be more interested in, well, I want to have my name in the picture and my name out there, and they literally sell 5 or 10 houses a year. No, this is how the outside sales agents on my team make hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars net in their pocket. They're not paying any ad expenses. They're not paying for admin people. What they make is what they get to keep. So if this excites you and you want to know more about either how to join Grace's team in Orlando, Florida, or you are not in Orlando, Florida, and you want to learn how to do what Grace has done using the Craig Proctor system, we're going to show you today how to do it. First of all, if you're in Orlando, Florida, and you're serious and you can set your ego aside, and if you remember that the reason you got into real estate agent is because you want to make the most amount of money in the least amount of time, and you want to focus on only the parts of the job that you love, which is working with the buyers and sellers, this is perfect for you. Grace, how should Orlando realtors or realtors anywhere in the country, what would be the best way for them to reach out to you?
Oh, my phone number?
Phone number, email, or they can Google you, your choice.
Right, yeah. They can all Google me. My phone number is 407-233-5453. Or my website is Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty America.
Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty America. Okay. Or you can just Google Grace Feng, Orlando Realtor, and she'll be there. In fact, that's a good lesson for all of you. You should Google all my top members and then Google yourself and then Google my top member and then Google yourself and you'll see immediately the difference, right? This is Craig Proctor Marketing. This is what we do here. Now, one of the, and by the way, if you like this approach and you're not in Orlando, Florida, and you want to do what Grace is doing, why don't you just set up a call with me? If you talk to Grace or you set up a call with me, it's a free call, right? What would possibly be the downside? Mm-hmm. You think we're going to try to sell you on something? We don't need to sell you on anything. Grace is going to do great this year in 2023 with or without you. This isn't about Grace. This isn't about Craig Proctor. This is about, can this opportunity help you? What would be the downside? You spend a half an hour talking with us. And if you were to say, well, this is not for me, great. You can eliminate us from your life forever and continue, doing whatever you're doing now. But what if this is true? And I know there's a lot of BS being fed online about real estate coaches, and anyone that can spell coach calls themselves a coach. I get that, but I'm the real deal. I've been doing this for 30 years. I invented the team concept. I brought direct response marketing into real estate. I brought the guaranteed sale program. Real estate, as we know it with the team concept, it all started with me. Nobody was doing this before Craig Proctor. Why don't you book a call with me? Here's how you do it. You go to Proctor, see my name here, right here, proctorcall.com. It's my name, proctorcall.com. Let me say it again, proctorcall.com, proctorcall.com. We'll type all this and we'll put it in the comments below. But when you go there, you'll go to my Acuity Day Timer, pick a day and a time. Let's have a conversation. Okay, there's no downside for you here. It is a free, no obligation call. Let's get you aware of what your real estate business could look like if you were to team up with Craig Proctor. Okay, we're talking new construction now, Grace. You've got this amazing approach with new construction. Let's talk about why new construction is a really great target market right now, the way the market is.
We've gone through a not so good environment. Last year, there was not enough homes to sell, so commission was down. But right now, everything is picking up. There's more inventory homes are out there. The builders are offering more commissions. Sometimes you don't even believe they're offering a lot more than the resale homes on the market.
That's right.
Yes, they even offer bonuses if you can get them sold quickly. And another thing is, once you get familiar with one community, one floor plan, you can keep selling the same floor plan multiple times. We have many good examples about selling one community, 70 homes, another 50 homes, the third one, 40 homes. We have so many communities that we keep selling a lot of homes. So we occupy the streets in that community, and we still do. We manage them at this moment.
You dominate the marketplace. Okay, yeah. So does everybody get this? During the pandemic, when there were hardly any homes for sale, naturally, the new home builders didn't need real estate agents, right? They didn't cooperate with us. If you said to a new home builder, new construction, hey, I've got a buyer, what will you pay me? They might say, well, we're not going to pay you anything. We don't need you, or I'll pay you $500, take it or leave it. However, when the interest rates started to rapidly increase, thousands of buyers no longer qualified for the contract they had on their new construction home. So all over North America, builders were stuck with all these houses because the buyers no longer qualified at the new interest rates. All these buyers fell out of contract. So you may have noticed, yes, all of a sudden, the builders really need us again. And here's what the builders are doing. They're not only paying us as real estate agents a bonus, they're also including huge incentives for buyers. And I'll explain why. We know home prices are going down, right? Naturally, as interest rates go up, house prices go down. And that's true for new construction. The builders are in a little bit of a tough spot here because the builders, even though they'd like to reduce the prices of the houses, what they're afraid of is if they reduce the prices of their homes, the buyers that bought 3 months or 6 months ago, they might also walk away from their homes, or the new buyer that comes along, maybe, the buyer that bought, let's say a couple months ago, maybe their home would not appraise anymore if the builder started to drop the prices of the new home. So dropping the prices is not something the new home builders can really do that much. So what are they doing? Here's what they're doing. They're adding a lot of incentives, bonuses for real estate agents, big commissions. They're offering upgrades, free upgrades, appliances, and other upgrades to home buyers. But here's the biggie. Some of the builders are buying down the interest rate. So think about this. Interest rates not long ago were 3.5%. Now they're like 7%. If you do what Grace is doing, and we teach you how to create relationships with several builders, which she's done in Orlando, you could say to your buyer, you could offer a buyer a list of homes, new construction homes, that they can't get anywhere else, so not offered on MLS, right? Wouldn't it be great to offer what the other agents are not offering, right? To offer something that buyers can't, go to Zillow and find on their own. So the buyers love this list of homes. And you can say to the buyers, this is literally the only homes that you can buy where the interest rate is still 3 or 4%, because the new home builders are buying down the 7% interest rate to 4%. They're not dropping the price. They're doing a buy down on the mortgage. So we also know that new construction homes are a huge lead magnet because everybody likes new construction, right? It's like, oh my God, no one's ever been in this house before. No one's ever lived here. We tend to attract more qualified buyers with our new construction ads. And almost all these buyers, I'd say probably 80 to 90% of the new construction home buyers that we attract, guess what? They got a house to sell. Pretty sweet, right? Now, some of the buyers that respond to the Craig Proctor new construction ads will not buy new construction. And Grace is going to take them and sell them a resale, even though they came from the new construction campaigns. They may, Grace may show them some resales. Like, you know what? There are some attributes to having a resale because the landscaping's done and, the curtains are there and, a lot of upgrades are already done. So we are going to be advertising what it is that buyers want the most. Now watch how this is different. Here's how an average realtor in Orlando would speak to a buyer. Let me do that first. And you guys tell me in the comments below if you agree with what we're saying. So I'm going to be the average realtor. And by the way, it's not like I'm above this. This is what I was taught to do when I first got into real estate. I would say, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, this is Craig Proctor from ABC Realty. My big offer would be, would you like me to email you the houses that are on the internet? Right? That's really like, would you like me to email you the homes that are on MLS? What the buyer hears is that's something I can do on my own. How many of you would agree buyers would prefer, even in, if you think of how you buy things, would the buyer prefer to get as much information on their own as possible? If you were booking a vacation, if you were buying something, even, Grace, if you and I were going out to a restaurant in Orlando, it used to be we'd have to go to the restaurant to see if the food and service was good. Today, we would just Google it. So the offer that we're making to buyers cannot be the same offer that all the other agents are offering. And our big buyer offer can't be something that the buyers believe they can get on their own. So let me go back and repeat this again. This is what the typical agent would say. Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, would you like me to email you daily updates of all the homes that are on the MLS? Right? Now, what else would we been taught to say? As a buyer agent, what else would we say? We would also say to the buyer, maybe we would say, I'm a great negotiator and I'm going to represent your best interest. So I'm going to email you all the homes that are on the MLS, which the buyer can do themselves. And I'm a great negotiator. And I'm going to represent your best interest. Here's the problem today. What the buyers believe is that they're better off representing their own best interest. And if all you're offering them is what's on MLS, which they can find on the internet, here's what many of the buyers think: I could negotiate better for myself by going around you as a buyer agent. And now that I know where the listings are and who has them listed, I can go directly to the listing agent. So here's the question: what are you going to say to a buyer if the buyer says, no, I'm good, I can find the houses by myself, and yeah, you're probably a pretty good negotiator and you want to represent my best interest, but honestly, I think I can represent my own best interest better by going around you and going directly to the listing agent. What are you going to say? Now, here's what Grace would say. Grace would say, in addition to the homes that are publicly available on the MLS, I can also get you access to unlisted, off-market, pre-market, new construction, distress sales, and bank foreclosures. Would you be interested in getting those as well? It's a free service and you're never obligated to do anything. Boom. What do you think the buyer says? Now, would everyone agree in the comments below, would you agree that Grace has a way better offer than the other agents she competes with? They're all like, do you want me to email you the homes that are publicly available? And Grace is like, yeah, I can do that too, but I can also get you access to this and this and this and this. It's absolutely free service. You're never obligated to do anything. This is how we do it here in Craig Proctor world. How many of you would like to be coached up on this? Because here's the interesting thing. How long you lived in Orlando for, Grace?
22 years.
22 years. Grace is there for 22 years. And for all those years, 15 transactions, 20, 15, 20, 15, 20. Grace knew what she knew, which was, here's how you do real estate. You sell to your friends, your relatives, your sphere of influence, and she could not break through 20 transactions. How many transactions are you going to do in 2023?
I'm shooting for 300.
300 transactions. She hasn't moved. She's still in Orlando. She's still the same person. Folks, you can fight this all you want. You know, either you believe this is true or you believe it is not true. It's up to you. You can fight it all you want. You can say it's not fair, but this is happening for real estate agents all over the United States and Canada. You just need to be coached up on an effective system from someone that's actually made millions and millions and millions of dollars every year selling real estate. Okay, there's no Tom Ferry going on here. Okay, I've actually not only had a real estate license, I've sold over $100 million in commissions, $1 billion in sales, $100 million in real estate commissions is what I've made. Now you line that up with any other coach or trainer or guru. And if you find someone like me that's been paid over $100 million in commissions, was the #1 RE/MAX agent in the entire world within 36 months of having my license, then you should go listen to what they have to say. The other thing I want to talk about is Grace is unique in Orlando, but not unique in the Craig Proctor world. We have thousands of Graces all over the United States and Canada, even England, even other countries. It's a systematic way of doing your business. So I want to finish it up with this. If you're in Orlando, Florida, you need to call Grace. Okay, you will not, yes, you call Grace, you Google her, you do your, now, some of you in Orlando may be like, oh, I know of Grace and, you know, she does well, but she has a team and she probably doesn't keep any of the money. Hey, guys, you can think all of that. You can be a hater, you can be a skeptic, but you know, choose what you want to believe, or you can do the smart thing and investigate this, right? Grace is very professional. Okay. She's gracious. That's why her name's Grace. She will spend time explaining this opportunity. Now, I promise you this, if Grace does not feel that you would be a good fit, she will let you know, because Grace has zero interest in wasting your time or her time, because she spends so much time with the people that she brings on her team, coaching them and teaching them how to be very successful, because this isn't burn and churn here, folks, like maybe at your brokerage, right? Most real estate brokerage, get them in, let them sell to their friends and relatives. When they fish out their own personal pond, kick them out of the office and bring the next. No. We're not looking for that. We're going to spend countless hours coaching and training you up so you can do this for many, 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 many years. So Grace, first of all, you've done a tremendous job. And let me say this, it took some faith on your part because you did it. You know, my system was there, but you had to find it. You didn't have to come to the free half-day seminar. You certainly didn't have to fly from Orlando, Florida to Anaheim, California to spend 3 days with me. And this is in 2017. Here we are in 2023, years and years and years later. And every year you've been with me, what's happened with your business?
Grow.
Increase, increase, increase. Now, here's the crazy thing. If I'd have said to Grace, when we first met, that very first day, Grace, if I'd have pulled you aside and I said, hey, Grace, in 2023, you're going to sell 300 homes, you probably would have laughed. You would have thought, you would have thought it was unbelievable. Now, here's the crazy thing about it. If I said to you today, Grace, in 2025 or 2026, I think you can do 500. You believe that now.
I think so.
Does everyone see the difference? So I want to thank everyone for tuning in here today. Let me know if you found this extremely helpful. Type in the comments below. Let us know, what was your best takeaway today? Was it your way of thinking changed, your paradigm? Does this team approach make sense? Reach out to Grace. Why wouldn't you do that? Shoot her an email. You'll find her all over social media. Confirm in your mind, Grace is a real person. She started with me in 2017. You can all do what Grace is doing here. If you're in Orlando, you would be crazy not to get in touch with Grace. Any final thoughts before we wrap it up here? Grace, anything you want to say before we end?
Yes, I just want to say it's been a great journey with the Proctor System. I've learned so much. It just opened up my mind to, to understand there's a unlimited potential on me, that I can do it.
And the great thing is you've been able to help a lot of people, Grace. First of all, when we're in real estate, obviously we want to help ourselves. When I had no money, I wasn't thinking about how I can help other people. I was like, how can I help Craig? But you're now beyond taking care of your own, personal financial needs.
True.
So you're able to give away money back to the community, to different charities.
Yes.
You've created a great job opportunities for your entire team.
Yeah. So I didn't believe I could do it, but now, besides my 2 real estate companies, I have 2 charities that I'm running. We have been supporting a lot of students in China, about 800 students in China. We supply them with a nutritious meal, and also locally we went to I don't know if any Orlando people here. We support Russell Home. We bring them lunch. We bring them Christmas presents. Yes, it's a lot. It's not just about me anymore. It's about communities of people around me.
And that's because we make it fun. You see, most real estate agents would think, well, once I have my own financial needs met, like once you get to the point where you're thinking, well, I couldn't even spend all the money that I have, a lot of people would just, say, well, that's it, I'm done. And what that means, what that tells me is, well, you're just working for money, because the only reason you were doing this is you want to get to a certain amount where you don't have to work anymore and your financial needs are met. Everyone, or a lot of people, think that's the game. But the real game is making it a game. You see, Grace doesn't have to work this hard, but she doesn't actually see it as work. And you'll find that with successful people. If you study extremely successful people, they can't really separate what they love to do from work. Okay, so it's a game worth playing. And that's what we wish for all of you, that life is short, that you truly get into something where you actually get up and you're excited. You don't say, thank God it's Friday. On Sunday, you say, thank God it's Monday. And we want you to be able to take the weekends off. We want you to make lots of money. If you're feeling consumed by real estate, it does not need to be that way. Look, wherever you are in your business right now, I can promise you this: if you don't make a change in your approach, you're going to get the same results next year and then the year after and the year after. It's funny, Grace, because agents come to me for 30 years. They come to me and they're like, I want to do better. But then you have a conversation with them, but I don't want to change. I want to do better, but I don't want to change, right? That's like, I want to go to heaven, but I don't want to die.
Yeah.
Look, folks, if you're tired of getting the same results, why don't you just be open to a different approach? Why prejudge it? Why say my marketplace is different? We hear that a lot, right, Grace? My marketplace is different. Or, I'm a woman, Craig, and you're a man, or I'm older than you, or I'm younger, or my marketplace is different. I'm in Canada, or I'm in the US, or I sell expensive homes, or I sell inexpensive. We have all of these excuses that we give ourselves to not investigating other approaches. It's smart to invest other opportunities, right? You're going to be in real estate for a long, long time, hopefully, right? There'll be a lot forced out of the business. We predict about up to one in three real estate agents will be pushed out of real estate in the Great Recession here of 2023 and 2024.
Yeah, I've seen that already happening a lot.
Yeah, and we're not concerned about that at all. In fact, top Craig Proctor members like Grace realize here are the opportunities in a down market. The less agents operating in Orlando, all the better for Grace, right? Get rid of that competition. Get rid of the agents that aren't serious. Let's, expand our market share in down times. It's like Warren Buffett would say, right? He'd say, the time to push forward is when there's blood on the streets. So,
and as we're looking for customers, the customers are looking for us as well. Professional and legible, realtors out there is now is a treasure to find.
Yeah, good point. During the pandemic, when houses were selling with 12 offers overnight, we could argue it didn't really matter what agent. We didn't believe that, but the public believed doesn't really matter what real estate agent lists my house because they're selling overnight and I'm getting 12 or 15 offers. And yes, that is true that houses were selling overnight. I still always believe the agent matters. However, today, sellers are like, you know what? I need a good agent. They're not so, they're not so eager to list with their friend that has a hair salon full-time and they sell real estate part-time, or their uncle who is a landscaper during the day. Those days are kind of over. So if you're watching this and during the salmon run, when the salmon it was a salmon run in 2021, money was running down the street. The government was actually paying people to stay at home, right? If you could only sell 15 or 20 homes, if you were struggling, if you were only selling to friends and relatives, that is over with now. And that's why all these agents are going to be forced out of the business, because all this accidental or easy transactions from friends and family, they're not buying now. This is a recession. What are you going to do? Here's the conclusion that I came to within my second year of selling real estate. If I want to be super successful as a real estate agent, I must learn how to do business with strangers. That's it. Think of how ridiculous what we're taught when we get, work your sphere of influence, work the people you know. That would be like me, Grace, that would be like me opening a restaurant in Orlando. And the title on the sign in my Orlando restaurant, it says, the Craig Proctor Restaurant for friends and family only. How long would my restaurant in Orlando, Florida stay in business if it was for friends and family? It's ridiculous. Guys, come and get coached up with Craig Proctor. Come and have a conversation with Grace about how you use smart, modern marketing to attract buyers and sellers so they're chasing you. You're not chasing them. Stop listening to what they're telling you to do. Door knocking, cold calling, wasting money on image advertising. That's what they taught me to do, Grace. Take a picture of yourself next to the broker's BMW. Or if you have a nice dog, you take a picture of your dog. Or if you're into golfing, you get a picture of you next to your golf. That's not marketing. Look, what is your offer, folks? What can you offer buyers and sellers that, number one, the buyers and sellers, they can't get it on their own. And number two, they can't get it from any of your other competitors. Once you offer something buyers and sellers really want, and they can't get it from your competitors, and they can't do it on their own, guess what they're going to do? They're going to contact you to get the valuable thing that you offer that they can't get anywhere else. That's what Craig Proctor Marketing is all about. Grace, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule here to be with us here. Really appreciate it. I know you're going to get to over 300 transactions and you're going to keep growing this. I'll have you back on one of our future Craig Proctor real estate shows as you continue to progress. But everyone, give a virtual applause to Grace Feng. Thank you so much for being here. Contact her, folks. Okay, don't lose this opportunity. Contact Grace. You'll have a great conversation. We're going to wrap it up. Thank you for watching the Craig Proctor Real Estate Show, and we'll see you all next time. Take care. Hi, this is Craig Proctor. Hey, I really hope you enjoyed that video. And listen, I've got a lot more information for you to help you grow your real estate business. You see, several times a week, I record new videos and I load them onto this YouTube channel. What I'd like you to do, if you'd like to access them, are two important things, and both are totally free. Number one is I'd like you to subscribe to this channel. You're going to see a little subscribe button for you to click on. And if you don't already have an account with YouTube, it's free for you to set it up. It's really easy, it's free, but you've got to subscribe to this channel. And the most important thing is to ring the little bell right next to the subscribe button. And that's going to let you know every time I load new money-making videos to help you grow your real estate business. So make sure you subscribe right now, you ring the little bell, and we'll see you on the next video.